The story starts a fair while ago. 1941, my grandparents went out to Africa as missionaries, and so my mom and her brothers were born there. In Africa, grew up there. My mom came back to the States for college, met my dad, and they moved back in 1973. And I likewise followed my mom's steps and came back to the States for college, met my husband, and now my husband's completely addicted to Africa too, and we've been back there. So Ethan's the fourth generation of my family to be living in Southern Africa. Ethan Doyle is my son. He is 6 years old. He's my blonde-haired, blue-eyed boy, and love him to pieces. He's kept me on my toes and been a big challenge in a lot of ways, but also a really fun little kid to be with. We had no known family history, still don't know any history at all. And when Ethan turned 1, it was the same week he was learning to walk, and we noticed huge bruises on his legs, and that was confirmed then that he had hemophilia. I remember being at the IHTC when they told us what was going on, and just really being grateful that there was somebody there who knew what was happening. There was a couple years time difference between when he was diagnosed and when we decided to go, and when we felt a lot more comfortable and a lot more confident that we were at a place where we could treat him, that was when we felt like we could go back overseas. And the IHTC was very helpful to us in helping us prepare and just educating us through those whole 2 years.
I didn't think so.
There is no hemophilia treatment centre in Zimbabwe, and there's no factor that you could pick up anywhere. It gives you a lot of perspective that here in the States we've got a lot of good things, and access to great care and medicine is really a privilege, and there's a lot of people in the world who just don't have that. In the environment where he is in Zimbabwe, he's not really around other kids who have chronic diseases like he does, and one of his closest little friends is also named Ethan, and he has asthma. So Ethan's understanding that it's not just you that has an issue here, there are other kids who have different difficulties as well. It is possible, and I think there's a lot of planning that needs to go into it. I think just maintaining relationships and being well prepared and cognizant of the situation that you're going into, what your risks are and where your limitations will be. I don't want him to be a bubble boy. I want him to be able to be a little boy, and you know, when my brother-in-law brings home a 7.5-foot python, I want my son to be able to touch that, you know, and do fun things like that. But we've had to draw a fine line between letting him be a boy, but also not letting him get too carried away in certain areas.